right, you guys, we are live with the Gamers Round podcast, episode 19. We're almost 21, so it's pretty
19.
awesome. Yeah. Woo! Hard to believe that it's already 19. Oh my gosh. Where has the time went though? Really. It's pretty cool because like the pandemic's not cool, but it's cool way in the fact is we got to come together and have a podcast and share all the cool gaming things that we do. But before I get rambling, I just want to introduce CHICHUKI.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
We got Mr. Switch.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
And it's us three until our other guest comes on later, but here we are. I'm going to kick it off with talking about the Direct Mini. Yeah, not many.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That was the thought of the internet because, you know, we were chit-chatting earlier and CHICHUKI said when it said partners, everybody was like, their jaw just went, oh.
Well, I mean, because the last partner direct they had was just Bakugan, and that was it, and something else, but it was basically just the Bakugan game, and everybody was like, oh, that was not worth the time to wait. And then this one was pretty much just all music. So
yeah, it was pretty cool. Like for me, the Kingdom Hearts one was the one that I was most excited about because it's not a traditional Kingdom Hearts game, but it does offer, it's almost like Cadence of Hyrule. They had Zelda, but they had Cadence of Hyrule. They had Kingdom Hearts, and now they have the, oh my gosh, what was it? The Melody of Memories. There you go. Melody of Memories. Yeah, that's what it was called. I had to pull it out of my mind because I did a TikTok video about it the other day.
well, good luck, because I'm glad you pulled it out, because I had no idea.
I had to pull it out of my brain real quick. But it was pretty cool in the fact that it does offer some new boss battles, and it does offer the scenes from the original Kingdom Hearts. So, I mean, at least there's that. But I feel like they could have done something more with Disney and Square and Nintendo Switch. I don't feel like that game is geared for everybody, but I do feel like it's a game that I'm probably going to get only because I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan. I mean, I have it on the Game Boy Advance. I have it on PlayStation. So we'll see how it goes. It looks more, in my opinion, like the original version. So any thoughts on it?
Well, they added a new storyline to it, right? A new chapter or episode or something on the Switch version, they were saying. In the
Yeah, you're right.
And are any of the Kingdom Hearts games already on Switch?
I don't
Or do they
think
not
so.
bring any of them?
No, they haven't brought any, which is really a surprise because Nintendo has worked with Square before. And they did, well, not really hardcore before, but they did the GBA version, which was cool. It was Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. So that was, at least they had that. It was like a condensed version of Kingdom Hearts. So, and then they had the Puyo Puyo and Tetris. I thought that was pretty cool. I'm a Tetris geek, so for for them to have the Puyo Puyo and the Tetris, I thought was pretty interesting. You guys like Tetris?
Tetris, I don't mind it.
I could take or leave Tetris, but I've been playing Tetris 99 for a while.
Tetris 99 is crazy. I have played against some people on there. The tournaments are wild. There was like 10 or 15 different screens, and people were just jamming.
They're nuts. They're nuts, these people. I mean, I still haven't won one. I'm still trying, but you know.
Yeah, same. Because I see the way these people play it. I was like, dude, I thought I like Tetris. These people are hardcore sports status.
Oh, they're nuts. I mean, I'm not the biggest Tetris fan, but they're crazy. Some of these people.
And then the one thing that I thought too was really cool on the Direct Mini was the Final Fantasy for the Game Boy, which was super. Yeah, that was cool. People have been speculating that they were going to make a Game Boy like they did Nintendo and Super Nintendo, the emulation on the Switch. But it was cool that they brought the Final Fantasy to life through its own app because it said it did have the ability to, what was it, rewind and fast forward, I believe.
I don't know if it said you can rewind. I'm not sure.
Or it was save state, wasn't it? Save state.
I think they had save state. I can double check if it had rewind and stuff.
But it was cool though because it looks like you're playing a Game Boy because it has a little pad on there, the AB on the screen. So it's pretty cool. I'm curious to see if it's actually going to be where you can touch the screen. like you could play it like a traditional touchscreen Game Boy because it has the controls on the screen. I do like the layout. I do like the fact that there again, Final Fantasy is coming to the Switch. So I believe Square's working with Nintendo more. I'm hoping that they bring legit Kingdom Hearts, like the full game, to the Switch. That would be awesome.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. I didn't want a Game Boy like online before you mentioned Game Boy Online. Now I want a Game Boy collection online. I mean, I would love to have a Super Game Boy thing on the Switch, just to play online all the time. That'd be crazy.
Well, yeah, considering they have a full-fledged like library of games, so many.
I mean, it does seem like the more collections we get, the more that have Game Boy games, they throw it in like their full collection. Like Castlevania did that. What else did that? Contra did that, I believe. Not 100% sure on that one. And then there was one other one that I think did that. They just threw the Game Boy versions on in the collection. So I feel like that's the more reasonable way to go with getting Game Boy games on the Switch, because they don't seem to want to go there yet. We haven't even got a 64 group yet for online. So we'll see.
I think also there's a lot of companies who aren't really ready to budge. Like I haven't seen Mega Man on the Nintendo yet, right? And so where Capcom, they haven't budged right there. I think there's a lot of companies that are the same where they don't want to budge yet. But it is kind of cool, like you said, to see that there are collections. At least there's something there, you know?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, you have to buy it separate. It doesn't come in a neat little package, but at least it's there. So is there anything else that stood out to you guys on the Direct Mini?
Let me see what actually was listed on the Direct Mini. One sec. There was a couple of things that I saw, but I just want to list Nintendo.
You guys were mentioning the Crystal Chronicles. How do you guys like that?
I mean,
Switch, we'll talk about that later, right? That's what you wanted to do?
Yeah, I will. I'll definitely go right into that.
Okay.
Later on.
Well, CHICHUKI's going to check those things out real quick. Hold on. See what's going on.
Let me just see if I can get a listing here. Okay, it was the newest one had the Kingdom Hearts rhythm game we talked about. Fuser doesn't seem like anything I would care about. The two Taiko no Tetsujin RPGs, that's actually something that I'm interested in, that one, just because it looks fun and interesting, and it's an RPG. World of War Tanks looks pretty cool. We got another, I think Ready to Rumble Boxing looks pretty neat. But it looks pretty rough in terms of... Is
the Ready to Rumble one, is that the one with Sylvester Stallone?
That is the one with Rocky, yeah.
Yeah, it did look a little rough, like just the gameplay and stuff. I saw it. Maybe that was just their rough draft giving it to the public, but it looked really rough around the edges.
Yeah, it did not look like a polished product to me. It looked kind of like yeesh. Let's see, we got the Final Fantasy RPGs, Just Dance, Puyo Puyo Tetris, and then there's some more DLC ones. Ooh, don't want that on there.
I told my wife that I feel like we're getting old because the Just Dance, we played it for a long time, and now these new Just Dance games, I have no clue what this music is on there.
Oh, I didn't know what some of that music was.
I was like, who are these people?
Okay, so we have DLC for Minecraft Dungeons. Switch Force or Jump Force, excuse me, the anime fighting game, the anime soccer game. I'm blanking on the title of that, and Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. So that's what we have.
That soccer game looked kind of crazy, like just mixing up between anime and soccer. I've never seen that before, really, honestly. So it looked pretty cool, something different at least.
Imazuma 11 for 3DS is a soccer anime game, but it's not like they're young kids, like maybe middle school kids. Yeah. This one looks more like a full-fledged, like crazy RPG soccer game.
Wow.
Again, another one that didn't. Again, another one that looked rough.
Yeah, because like when they were playing, it looked like they were kind of like, I would say, glitched out a little bit when they were
A
playing.
little.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to chalk it up to the Switch's like low processing hardware because I don't have it in my hands to play the game myself.
Yeah.
But it didn't look good.
No, I feel like when they put out games, I know they're just rough drafts, but people are going to buy the game based off the rough draft. So when we see the rough drafts, and let's say they gave a good presentation of Kingdom Hearts, I didn't see the Crystal Chronicles one, but you guys did. So they gave a good one there. People will buy it based off that. So if I saw the soccer game, it looked cool, but it wasn't as polished, I might not buy it because the product doesn't have like a good package, first of all. So how am I going to know that the gameplay is going to be good? Like the Puyo Puyo Tetris had a good one. That one was pretty decent. So, I mean, a lot of them had pretty polished looks. And then some of them, like the Rocky one, I was like, the content looks cool. It reminded me of Punch Out versus like Punch Out Rocky put together. But just the game did not look polished enough for me to say, I'm going to get that.
It looked like it was just a step up from the Dreamcast version.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, Dreamcast was years ago, and we're still making a game that looks like that. I mean, I know it's a long way out, but I mean, still, come on.
Yeah, but we have the technology to do so much better. And
yes, we do.
And if they're taking a game like that and they're just going to put it into the Switch instead of saying, well, what can we do with this game? Can we polish it up a bit? Because, I mean, look at the games that the Switch has. It has Breath of the Wild. We got Mario Kart. I mean, there's a bunch of good games for the Switch that can handle the processing power. That boxing game, I feel, is still Dreamcast quality and not the quality the Nintendo Switch should be.
Now, I don't want people to think that we're knocking the Dreamcast version.
Dreamcast box.
The Dreamcast version was good. I mean, it looked like a top of the line like model at the time, but I mean, maybe it's because I'm not that interested in it, but it looked bad. It ran slow, and the models on the characters looked bad.
Now, like if they were advertising this for the Dreamcast years ago, the Dreamcast was an amazing system for the time, and some of the games are still really cool. But like for them to introduce that to the Switch, that's probably what we're more or less trying to get everybody to really understand is if they're introducing this to the Switch, they should have had some awesome graphics with that, because it's almost like if they're going to take the Mario and like if they're going to do a Mario 64 and they just drop Mario 64 and they don't try to polish it up, which that would be cool either way, whatever. But they should probably try to polish up Mario 64 if they're going to put it on the Switch.
I mean, I feel like they will when they eventually bring Mario 64 to the Switch, because we know they're probably going to do it. But it feels like this mini was like dropped in the dark of night, that they just snuck it online because it seemed like it snuck up on everybody.
Well, I feel like even with the pandemic, since everybody's been working from home, we've been getting a lot of stealth drops, which is unlike Nintendo, because they usually prepare you weeks in advance. Hey, the Direct's coming, and then so people start speculating. YouTubers start saying this is what's going to be. Some people's speculations are way off. Some people's speculations are great. So, but a lot of people that do gaming news like Spuncast and RGT85, their news is when it hits, they drop it, they make their content, and it's on. And instead of having usual speculation videos, they're like, oh, well, I guess another Direct just hit.
Well, I feel like all of this information would probably have maybe been announced at E3 if we had one. That everything that we've gotten this summer would probably have been either like phantom dropped at E3 or put in a huge Nintendo Direct during E3. Because it feels
that would have been nicer.
Definitely would have been nicer. It feels like it's a lot of small stuff and a few big things that feels like in E3 to me.
Well, it's just that they don't have that, the E3. So I feel
Sure.
like they're just trying to space it out and try to. I call it the hook, line, and sinker effect. They're just going to throw you some bait, and then all of a sudden they're going to throw a big old lunker at you, and then you're going to take the bait and maybe buy something along the way.
I feel like you're right. They're probably just leading us along till they have Metroid Prime 4 information or the 35th anniversary of
Dude, I'm
Mario.
praying for that. I'm
or 30th anniversary, excuse me. Whatever number it is.
Well, it was kind of nice with the Metroid 4 that they scrapped the old team and went with somebody new to get a fresh set of eyes on the whole thing. It's been a work in progress, but still, I mean, if they're going to go forward with Metroid Prime 4 and have a new team and have a fresh set of eyes, maybe it's going to be something way cooler than what we expect.
I'm going to say that being said, of all the people that have been working on other big major games like Borderlands and Call of Duty and other big names or creators or designers from Halo, things like that are working on that game, there's only very few people from the original first three, retro studios from the original. Am I saying the right retro studios?
I believe.
From the original team, there's not the whole team's there. It's just a few, but it's mostly a lot of new people. They're working so hard in this game, keeping it quiet so much. Watch it, man. I can already tell you now. Game of the year. I'm gonna say it now. I'm saying too much right now. It's too much to say, but they're working on it so hard. Working on it so hard right now. How can that game go bad with all these people?
We can go bad.
Can we?
It can go very bad.
No, I'm gonna have
very bad.
High hopes. So I'm not gonna believe CHICHUKI. I'm just gonna. I'm just like, man. It's for me. A huge Metroid fanatic, and it's just like it's like a dream, and I can't wait. And I'm hoping it doesn't go bad. So you are right, and it could go down to shit for a second, and then you never know. But
I would love to know how shitty the one that they had before was going, and then they decided to scrap the whole project.
I wish we could have seen something from it, like why it happened, or.
Hey, later on though, it'll be leaked on the internet somewhere because of all these, like N64 has a lot of their old games like Dragon. It was like, I forgot what it's called, but it was a game that was released and there's only 3 levels. I found it online. I should keep track of all these games, but you have a gaming backlog and you just play them and they just go farther back, and so you forget about them until you actually play them. But I'm sure it'll end up on the internet sometime. Someone will slip and put a leak out. You know how that goes.
It's surprising that it's not online already.
Right.
Because it's been almost like half a year since they scrapped that one.
Because usually stuff, when that happens and they scrap a whole project, somebody just grabs it up and leaks it online, and that's it.
Oh, it's usually up there like the next day.
So it's very shocking to see. Maybe it's because it's that hush hush, and it's going to be something, like you said, either big or bad.
Probably. I'm curious as to see like how far along they are now with it also, because if they're going to bring it out in 2021, excuse me, then Breath of the Wild 2 could steal its thunder, or whatever they're calling the next Zelda game.
It's kind of cool because Breath of the Wild 2 isn't on its way out this year, but Oceanhorn 2 is a Zelda-style game that they're bringing to the Switch. So a lot of people are excited for that because it's like a supplement. It kind of holds them back a little bit before Breath of the Wild 2 comes out. It's actually a really cool game, the Oceanhorn. I had it on my tablet, my Android tablet, and then I bought it for the Switch also. That's how much I liked it. I don't normally pay for games twice, but it's a super cool game.
Well, I don't know. Oh, sorry. Okay.
I was to say it's very Zelda-ish, and I think that's why I kind of was real familiar with it. So it was really cool.
I'm not sure if we know Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out next year. I mean, it may come out at the end of this year, or it could come out for the holiday season.
Do you think so?
This year. It
could.
could.
That would be so good. That would make my year. It would turn 2020 to such a crappy year into the best year.
Is it realistic to think that? No, probably not. That they haven't had any information other than the mini trailer that we got at the end of E3. But
They were working on it. They've been working on it.
oh yeah, but do I think it's coming out in what 3 months? No. But would it be the way Nintendo can just put a giant middle finger up to Sony and Microsoft when they're bringing out their new systems?
That'd be
Sure.
the best thing.
I'd be like, hey, it's like, hey, you guys have new systems? Okay, that's nice. We have
Game of the year. Boom.
we have Breath of the Wild 2. We have Mario's all the 3D platforms remastered. I was like, go ahead, release your new systems.
Yeah, it's because here they are talking about the Xbox, and then they're talking about PS5, and then forever they've been talking about the new Nintendo Switch coming out. That's been a thing for the last however long.
That bothers me that they're bringing out another a new Switch.
Well, because they got the Switch Lite, they got the Switch I have is considered the older model, and then they have one ahead of that, which they fixed a few bugs or whatever. I don't have a problem with mine anyway. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then another one. That makes 4. That would not make.
Is that 4? We have day one. We have a day one edition, which is pretty much the original one.
Yeah.
You have the Lite. Then you have this new one that they plan on coming out with.
Well, they had another one too that came out after the day one, a year later, and it's in a one of them's in a different colored box, like a light red box, and one's in a black box with red, and it supposedly fixed a lot of the bugs how people were hacking the Integra processor. So they fixed it. So they have that one. So this will be the number 4.
Okay, yeah, that's why I was thinking it was 3. I wasn't thinking of the newer one.
It's just crazy, man. I don't think we need 4 Nintendo Switch, which is how long has it been out? Barely 3 years?
About 3 years, I think.
Yeah. The 3DS only had they had the 2DS and the 3DS, right? And that was it.
Oh, they had quite a few 3DSs.
Well, I mean, they had the different models, right? Like they had Mario, they had. Is that right?
They had different variations of the actual system, like the Switch is trying to do. You had your 3DS, you had your 3DS XL, you had your new 3DS. Oh,
yes, you're right. Absolutely.
And then you had the 2DS. So Nintendo's been doing this for years, bringing out new variations of the same system, only with, of course, for monetary reasons, because why wouldn't they like money?
It's smart, right?
I mean, it's smart. It also is like, hey, we've had this model since the beginning, but we didn't want to do it.
Because what I felt like they should have done was made an awesome 2DS and an awesome 3DS, because there are people that get motion sickness from the 3D. So I don't know why there was a 2DS that I was gonna buy at Walmart. It was screaming my name, and I was like, those things that you don't really need, and you're like,
oh, of course,
yeah, you're like, I'm not gonna get it. I'm good. And then it went on sale for $50, and I was like, man, should have grabbed it. And then I went back and I called Walmart that day because it went on sale for $40, and it had, and it came with Mario Maker already installed. Okay. So it's a pretty good deal.
Did you get it?
It was gone by the time I got there.
Oh, it's gone. Oh, $40.
Literally, I was at work for 8 hours, and I went afterwards, and it was gone. And I went to Target, and they had the same deal, and they were wiped. They had 15 of them that morning, and they were gone. And then I went online and saw that scalpers were rescalping them on eBay and Amazon.
Of course they are.
But, oh, well, I'll get one eventually. It's not like at the end of the world, if I don't have one, whatever.
No, 2DS isn't like an end of the world purchase or anything. You don't need one.
No. I just like the look because it reminded me of the original Game Boy, how it was flat and it was just upright. And Ray Strategize just makes it look so cool on YouTube.
Well, he does do a lot of videos on the 2DS.
That's my boy.
Yeah. When I saw it, I was like, man, I got to get me one of those. So I went and looked, and then that's when I should have taken the first plunge and just paid the $80, picked it up. All right. So who's up next?
What do we have that went on this week? Gamescom was also this week, or going on right now. I don't know. I don't think there was anything announced for Switch. Was there? If you know, did you notice anything that was announced for Switch? I don't think so. I think it was mostly everything else. But Have you guys been following this?
No.
No. Retro?
Which one?
Gamescom. Have you been following that at all?
No, I saw an ad for it on YouTube, but I haven't got a chance to look at it yet.
Okay. I haven't. I've been catching it a little bit. Nothing has really like jumped out at me with it. I think they showed the Call of Duty stuff like that. And then there was something else on there.
I saw a YouTube video, a thumbnail about the Call of Duty, and I clicked on it, and I clicked off of the video for about a minute. Like, if I see a good thumbnail about game related, I'll click on it, and then I'll watch it for a little bit. And if it doesn't catch my attention right away, I bail.
I mean, it looks good graphically. If I was into Call of Duty, I might jump on it. But I mean, processing wise, it looks really good.
Yeah, my 20-year-old self said that game looks really cool and I want to play it. But my almost 40-year-old self says, I don't have time to get into that.
And I tried to get into Call of Duty years ago, and I was like, no, pass.
I just like campaign.
Yeah, I played it when it first came out. Like, I remember when it first came out on the PC, Call of Duty. It started out as a PC game, and it was really cool because it was, for the time, it was pretty cutting edge because, like, internet gameplay was just coming out. And they had Half-Life, and they had, like, a bunch of different games that were just barely going online. So it was really super cool. And to see where it came from back then, I was like, holy smokes, this is a cool game. Like, graphically, it was super awesome.
Oh, it looks like Little Nightmares 2 was announced at
What? Hold on.
That
Really?
game,
Yeah, I forgot about that. They had a news trailer on the Switch shop, not the Switch shop, the Switch news channel on that.
Oh wow, I'm looking at Little Nightmares 1 right now. I haven't even, my daughter beat it, but
Yeah.
I'm like, I haven't even, I might save it till October and play that one, the first one, but I did not know part 2. I know it's a great game. I was watching my daughter play it and beat it. It's so awesome.
I think either last year or the year before, when I usually, I don't know if you guys have seen, but I do seasonal videos occasionally. Like, I'll do I do my December, which is Christmas, Halloween. I did Little Nightmares. That game actually is kind of challenging because it's not really like it's like more like a puzzle style game, and it's really cool.
That game is hard.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. I had a hard time beating it doing the game, just maybe 30, 40 minutes worth of gameplay, because, and it's dark. It's not like dark as in like scary.
No, it's hard to see. Yeah.
Yeah, it's legit hard to see, even with the little candle that she carries around. And then sometimes the candle blows out. So I'm like, well, do I need to check my glasses? And I was like, I felt like an old guy was going like this. Can I see the screen? Like remember Mr. Magoo? He was all.
Yeah.
Hey, don't do that to us now. Okay.
You don't want to see my nose hair? Just kidding.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, that was announced. Fall Guy Season 2, which is like,
Ooh.
thanks for playing. The Sims 4, Crash Bandicoot 4. Games that have been announced already, but they brought, I think, video footage with it. Let's see, anything else?
Now, did they put the Crash? I saw speculation that they were putting the Crash 4 on the Switch. Is that happening?
That I don't know. I don't know if they
because that would be cool. Because I would totally buy it. I like Crash Bandicoot, and I like the idea that they offer it, a variation of it on the Switch, and the Spyro also. So it was pretty cool.
I mean, it'll probably come to Switch at some point if it doesn't come out during the launch window for it at the game. I mean, but we'll see.
The only addition of Crash I really didn't like was the Wii. They changed his character. You had to use the nunchuck and the Wiimote at the same time, so you're sitting there having to use both. So I mean, it wasn't the traditional Crash, but it worked, I guess.
Hey guys, Mama Slayer's asking, what do you guys think of the Five Nights at Freddy on VR?
I seen that.
Well, first off, hi, Mama.
Oh yeah, tell her hi, hello.
Yep, she's watching. Glad to have her watching.
You can take over, Retro. I don't have much on this.
My kids actually watch a YouTuber, and this guy took off like crazy. His name's Kindly Kian, and my kids have been watching him since we lived in our old house, and we've been watching him since he was at 10,000 subs. And in the last, I'd say 4 years, he went from 10,000 to 1 million. So he didn't change his formula. He does the same thing. Like, he doesn't change his personality. He's actually a really good YouTuber. But anyway, he did the Five Nights at Freddy's VR. It actually looked kind of crazy. He actually warned you that if you're not into jump scares, or you're somebody that's easily like, like the fainting goat where you pass out. Yeah, he said just to kind of be careful of that. But it looked pretty cool because you're actually a character in VR. My kids keep asking me, yeah, let's get the VR. And so I tried to get my son the VR glasses with the Google. He goes, no, Dad, I want the one for the computer.
Oh, of course he does.
Yeah, my son's 5, because he watches the YouTube videos. And he goes, I want the one for the computer. I'm like, Christmas time is coming.
I mean,
it's a few months away.
I mean, yeah. where we are with the VR technology now, it sounds like they're like switching everything up with the headsets. Like the Facebook, Oculus or whatever is not doing well. That it's like doing poorly. And then PlayStation VR, which if I was going to get a VR headset, I probably would do PlayStation VR, maybe because it has probably some of the better stuff. So you don't have just a few games to play on it. But I watched somebody that played the Five Nights at Freddy VR. Also, it looked pretty creepy.
Looks good though.
Yeah, the game itself is pretty creepy.
I mean, it's a cool concept that you're like, for those who don't know, it's like some of the stages you're fixing the robots or animatronic figures that are at the pizza place or whatever the hell the Five Nights at Freddy's story is, because no one really knows.
My kids love those games. I don't know why.
Yeah, it doesn't really do much for me either.
They made some fan made a variation of it. If it was called Five Nights at Wario's. So yeah, it was cool. It was actually pretty creepy because like Waluigi and Wario and Mario and Luigi, they're like all the bad guys, and so they're considered the animatronics, and it's the same basic as Five Nights at Freddy's. So it was pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
Right, who's next?
What else we got this week?
What else we got before I go? Anything else before I go?
Oh, good.
No, you can jump right in.
All right, I'm gonna start off with before I go into Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. I did a thing. I think Retro, we talked about this. How what's the game called? Crisis Remastered. How I was trying to enjoy a game that looked good. It looked great. It played nice for a minute, but then it just slowed down on you when it was like impacted a lot with a lot of gameplay. It would turn off for me every half hour or every hour, just shut off during the middle of gameplay. And towards the end, I think I was fighting the final boss. I think I was near it, and the screen it would freeze so much. I'm like, like swearing and what kind of, and I couldn't use my weapons almost the whole time. I was running around like a little deadbeat, like, this is some, I'm just angry going off. So I decided, you know what, I'm done. I called Nintendo the next day, and they refunded me the game. Oh. They give you a one-time only. If there's something, and I told them I just recently bought this. I went, we talked about it. I explained everything. And I said, if you check Twitter and all that, people are complaining about this game because I'm having this experience, and I'm sure a lot more Switch owners who bought the game for $29.99 are experiencing the same problems. And it's not fair that here we are, we're spending this money and for such a bad experience. I wish I could have got it on the maybe PS4 or my son's PS4 and played it then, but it was just so horrible the way we played it and the way I played it, and I wanted it to be a good experience. I kept trying, it just went bad. So yeah, again, Nintendo hears you out. Depends on what you explain to them and tell them. They're very nice on they were great. Again, Nintendo did a great job I spoke to 2 people and a supervisor. Let's see what we can do for you. And again, they said only a one-time thing only. So if you have an issue with something you recently bought and you just don't like it, and it's just not a good experience, and give it a chance, give it a try, because it worked for me. And basically saying next time don't come here. They said it nicely. They didn't say it like that, but and I understand that they're trying to make the money. But yeah, that's the experience with that. Crisis Remastered. Do not get it on the Nintendo Switch. I'm gonna go into Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, and I remember going back in the day. So a lot of us have played it where we had our Game Boys. What was the Game Boy? Which was it? Not Advanced. It was
No, it's GBA. It was a GBA link cable that you had.
again the link cable to our Game Boys, and we were playing. I remember playing that with my brother and his friends and my cousin, and just enjoying. The game was fun. It was cool. It was choppy at certain points, but playing this new version, the graphics and everything play very nicely. It looks beautiful, and I'm enjoying Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered Edition. I bought a lot of the DLC parts you can get from it, all the weapons and extra, whatever you need, and the cure stuff. A lot of things you don't have in the beginning that you do get in this game. So I'm loving it right away. I'm designing my characters, and if I want them to be a blacksmith or mage or whatever. But I'm anxious to get it and play it with whoever wants to play with me, and maybe do a stream about it or whatever. But just to play the game, it so far it's running well. I have no problems. I hear some people might have some issues, but I think it happens to some games where we have issues and then they give an update. That's what happened with Crisis, that there was an update and it didn't work. But I'm not having any problems with Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. I know that it feels better on the Switch, and it plays better for me. I like the feel. It feels like a new game again. So I would say check it out, try it out. I recommend it if you like that game. And I don't know, it doesn't feel like an actual. It never felt like a Final Fantasy from what I played before, like up to 7 or the other ones. This was more. It's different. It's beautiful. It's just not like exactly. Maybe some things partly are kind of like Final Fantasy, but it's like it's its own game, and I like it. Crystal Chronicles. That's it. It's a whole new thing, And again, people should try it out. So that's my take on that Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. I'm loving it. So any games you guys been playing lately? Anyone in the chat or you guys, CHICHUKI and Retro? Any games you guys maybe are having a good experience with right now?
I've been playing Majora's Mask again on stream on Mondays, and it's as tough as I remember from playing it as a kid, but it's interesting. The story is interesting to me as well at the time. Also, Mama Slayer wants to know, what do we think they're going to make a Luigi's Mansion 4?
Whoa!
I think in time, maybe in 2 years.
I don't think we're going to see it in the Switch's lifetime. I think we'll have to wait till either the next console or because it took them this long to do 3, but I don't see 4 coming anytime soon.
But where could they go with here from the Switch? Like, everybody thought the Wii was the next thing since French toast. Best thing since French toast. So what about the Switch, though? Where could you actually ultimately go from there? Would you make it a portable console, or would it be handheld and portable? I mean, if they're going to... I don't know.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, Retro.
Oh, it's okay, dude.
I think you would have to keep it a home console and a portable console, but I think if they make it an easier way to hook up without a dock or something, you can go that way, or you can do something that makes it a bigger screen, like a tablet maybe, or something. But I think they would have to start with, what am I trying to say? Better storage, better processor, something that doesn't heat up as much, because the Switch gets hot when you play it for a while. But the main thing I would think is making it easier to hook up to your television if you're going to have a home console.
My thought on the Switch is I feel like they should have made a smaller version of like the Wii for the home console and made a handheld version. And it would have been cool because then they could have did a smaller Wii type console, like just like a little pod, and then put your game in there. And then they could have made the Switch and the Switch Lite. So they could have made an additional console that way. Because I know when I stream the Switch, it makes me nervous because I think it's super hot. And I've never had any problems with it shutting off before. But I mean, if a device gets that hot, it's really not good for when you're playing it. That means your internals are burning up. So I never understood why that was. But I feel like they should do that. But if they do something And just in my opinion, I feel like they should do, like you said, Chichuki, do a handheld and something better that they can connect without the device getting hot. Be a good idea.
I mean, if they go away from the portable aspect of it, I think they're going to take a huge loss. But I like the idea of like the dock being like you just put the cartridge in the dock.
Yeah.
That would be something. Or they could do a third option, make the dock only play downloadable titles.
That would be cool. And the storage would be in the dock.
And then have the portable, like the Switch, be console only, cartridge only. Excuse me.
That'd be kind of cool because, like, at least you had a variation of something to where you know your Switch isn't going to get hot, and if you had the downloadable on a dock, and like, because all these third-party companies are winning right now. Like stuff Nintendo should be doing, they're winning. Like there's third-party companies making an adapter. Instead of using the dock, they're making adapters that you can plug into HDMI. They're not ready yet, but they're in the works of it. And people like Hyperkin have already made a third-party dock to where it's really teeny tiny, but it looks like a little N64, and you just put it right on top, and it docks right up to the TV. And they said it cuts the cooling down and the heating down in half. On it, so
that's interesting. I've seen that little that dock. It sounds like it gets good reviews online. But you never know until you get it in your hand if you wanted to use it yourself.
Yeah, because a lot of people are like pro using third party, but con using third party. But to me, like if it works, I bought third party stuff for my Wii and I have had no issues with it at all. Like I bought third party Wiimotes that I've still had for like 2-3 years or whatever, and they work just fine. I have parts that I bought third party. Like I have an HDMI dongle that I bought for my Wii. And it was just like maybe $10-15. Hook that up, and then it becomes HDMI. Works perfect. Output, it's fine. So
I've never had any problem with third-party equipment. I feel like the only thing that I was hesitant of doing was third-party memory cards. I feel like that was the only thing that I'm trying to remember. I know on my PlayStation, I mean, because they were so freaking expensive at the time. That you could they had to buy whatever you could get for the original PlayStation. The 64 memory cards weren't too bad, but I think I remember doing third party on them as well. I mean, but they weren't awful. I mean, controllers I'll do every day of the week on third party controllers.
Oh yeah, third party controllers are like a must because like I did a review on a third party Xbox controller. You can't tell the difference. The feels are fine. Everything looks fine. But, like, I don't know. I'm really excited to see if they do a number 4. I believe they might have to come out with another console to be able to make a number 4 because they put out Luigi's Mansion for the GameCube, and then I believe it went to the 3DS, if I'm correct.
Yes, that's right.
And then it went to the Switch. So I feel like they jumped over to the Switch, and I feel like if they're going to do it, it's going to be for a newer console.
I mean, they would have to bring probably a lot of new stuff with it if they stayed on the Switch, which is fine if they wanted to do that.
Are we talking about more like a future Switch for like what Nintendo would do next kind of thing? Or hoping what we want them to do?
Well, we're talking about that. We're talking about Luigi's Mansion 4, if we think they're going to have one.
Well, yeah, because like it'd be kind of cool because if they offered a new Luigi's Mansion that required more processing, then of course, let's bring it on. The art style would be more, if they have one that the art style would be more than the Integra could handle, hey, then like they did with each one, just put it on a new system. But it was kind of unfortunate though that Luigi's Mansion went from GameCube to 3DS to the Switch because there's a lot of people who didn't get the 3DS. Like I played it because the only way I could play it was through emulation. Oh, did I say that?
Who cares? Who cares?
What's emulation? What's that?
Who cares? I got emulated stuff. Go ahead.
I know, I'll just bet. But anyway, and then they brought it out for the Switch. So some people kind of missed the boat. Like when they said Luigi's Mansion for the Nintendo Switch and it was coming out, I was like, what? What happened? Because I wasn't so keen on the 3DS. I was like, I was interested, but not interested enough to buy it at the time. And so because I was retro collecting, that I wasn't interested in what was actually out because I was collecting everything. And so then I passed the boat up on the 3DS, and then finally when the Switch came out, got that, and then the interest came back for the 3DS. By that time, it was c'est la vie.
Well, let's see. The original Luigi's Mansion was tested as 3D. The 3DS version was 3D. The game wasn't that good, but it was still a 3D Luigi game. And then the third one was just fine. I mean, but yeah, I think that they would have to do either something spectacular with a 4 that they've never done before, or wait for a new system.
I'm still enjoying part 3 right now. So
3 is fine. I
haven't even finished it. I was playing it the other day. I'm kind of like, I maybe got 4 more floors, and it's just it's an incredible game. I did get upset with the level where you were. I don't know. Did you guys play through it or at all?
I have not gotten
one of the bosses
crazy far in it.
Yeah, it gets better and better and better each time. So I'm sure I'm gonna definitely live stream the final boss when I get to it. But great game.
I mean, it's been a while since I've played it because I've tried to pick up some of my backlog for some reason.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stop buying games right now.
It's a habit. My wife even said, she was telling me, she's all, babe, you got a big backlog, and I was like, yep, and it's just gonna keep getting better. It's
like
hard to. Sorry, I was gonna say it just keeps growing because there's so many great games that are coming out that you want to play them because they're right there, they're right now, and then like you play them, and then you're like, all right, play something else.
Well, when you buy off a limited run a lot, you don't get your games right away anyway. So that kind of helps the backlog because they take months to send you anything.
Yeah, I was just curious. Do you know anything about that? I hear that a lot from a lot of YouTubers. They say that.
I have bought a lot of stuff on limited run. It's because they claim that they have to wait to get for the whole shipment to sell or something, and then they have to ship out the whole shipment. In addition to, they need to get approval from Nintendo or whatever this console, or excuse me, that the console is going to be on, and then it takes 2 to 3 months usually after that.
So you're doing like a pre-order pretty much.
Yeah. If they, and then they usually do the pre-order window for like a month, and then you have to wait another additional 2 months.
So when you buy up a limited run, you should just expect to wait, for like a pre-order wait.
Yeah. If you're buying unlimited run, don't expect it anytime soon.
Because I saw somebody on YouTube ranting about limited run, and I thought I saw a lot of YouTubers that had said that limited run you would have to wait, and this person was ranting, and I was like, well, I'm pretty sure they had. I was gonna comment, but on some YouTubers you're not sure if you should comment, then it starts a big old flood of stuff. So sometimes I'm just like, you can't hear me, but I'm telling you, you gotta wait.
Limited run is fine. It's like if it's a game that, I mean, you can buy it on the eShop usually immediately if you don't want to wait for it to be physical. It killed me to wait for River City Girls to come out on the limited run physical cartridge rather than just download it because I knew I had already bought it in physical form.
What game? Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Switch.
I was just wondering, as you guys were saying that, what game is coming out next month, but it's kind of like, it looks like it's Zelda, but it's not. You were talking about it.
Oceanhorn.
Oceanhorn. I'm looking at it. I've been watching more previews about it. So now, if there's any game the rest of the year, it would probably be that one only. I have no other interest in nothing else but a pre-order for the PS5 when it comes along. But that game might be only my next and last spot for the year.
Yeah, if you look at the first one is very reminiscent of like the Zelda for Super Nintendo and pretty much like Link's Awakening, but that came out before Link's Awakening, the remaster, but it's pretty cool. And then the second one is very reminiscent of Breath of the Wild, like a lot. And I think they model themselves after Zelda a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good. I was watching the first time I saw it about a couple weeks ago. oh, I forget this. This is a copy of Zelda. I ain't getting this. And I just kind of went through it, looked at more, started going more into it. And I was like, you know what? I guess give it a try. You know, every game's going to be an inspiration or inspired by another game or something like that. So I was like, okay, I'll try.
I thought it was cool because they changed their style, like completely, kind of like how Zelda evolved. Well, they evolved from the overview platform to Breath of the Wild, and I was like, I'm ready to see, because I've been ready for Oceanhorn 2 since I saw it come out on the Apple market, and I was even willing to like purchase an iPad just to play it. That's how bad I wanted. Yeah, that's how bad I wanted to play it. But then I'm not an Apple person. That would have been just legit for that game. So I was thinking. Then I asked my buddies because they're big Apple persons. Oh, you guys got an old iPad? And so I asked them, and they tried downloading it, and their iPad that they gave to their kids was too old, and theirs they used. Yeah, so it has to be really an up-to-date iPad. They have it on. They said that their iPad they use for business, so they didn't want to install games, but they did say that it was available. So for like a year and a half, I've been kind of chomping at the bit, and then when they announced for it to come out on Nintendo, I was like, racehorse coming out of the chute. Woo! Finally.
Okay, you know what? That gives me something that I can spew a topic on. Is there a game that you guys would have just bought a system for, other than what you just said, Oceanhorn? Well, I'm not going to have you rehash the same thing you just said. You know.
No, but I do have another one though. If I didn't find it on the Epic Game Store, we were gonna buy the PS4 just for the new Tony Hawk, the remaster. But Epic Games is hosting it also, and it's $50 for both 1 and 2, which is a really good deal considering it's $25 a piece. So it saved me right there because I got a controllers already, and then I got the computer. But I was like, man, I already spent all this money. Am I tied into the Switch, get a PlayStation, and then all of a sudden it's all released on Epic Games on PC run. Would have done it though.
So the Tony Hawk game, is it a bundle? It's not 1 and 2 together. It's separate, or is that just on the Epic Store?
I want to say it's a bundle, but they have the regular version. You can pay like the $50 for, or you can pay like $60 and get. I don't know if it was called the Pro version, but you get just a little bit more with that.
Oh, okay.
You pay pretty much $10 for the extra downloadable content. So you can buy it with the big version, or you can just buy the standard version, which was cool because they said 90% of the original music is in that game.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's because I saw that like Power Man 5000 was in there, so that was pretty cool because I'm not a fan of Power Man 5000, but the music is cool to listen to while you're skating.
Well, it's pretty much any grunge song you can find.
Yeah.
is good skating music.
Yeah, you just plug it in and go.
But let's see. To answer my own question, I was thinking of buying Xbox for Cuphead. I was waiting for that for like 2 years.
Just for that one? Oh,
I was thinking about it. Now it's on Switch, so I didn't have to. And then the same for Retro Replay or Rare Replay. But I'm praying that they eventually bring that to Switch.
I think for me, I'm gonna, like I was thinking about. At first, I was thinking about the PS5, but what actually finally sold me, like for sure, because it was either both. Oh, I want this one or that one. What really sold me off, and why for sure, my number one game why I'm buying the PS5 is for the new Batman game. It's just seeing how it turns out. I guess Batman's now dead, and Robin and everyone else is, Batgirl. I think I forgot who else said. It's just the preview just sold me. The game looks so good. You know what? I know my son wants it too, but I wanted to kind of making sure that this is what we want together. And again, that game sold me. So, yep, it's going to happen.
I don't know how you can have a Batman game without Batman. That always bothers me when I try to do Batman stuff without Batman.
Yeah, it does. It looks like me. I'm a huge Batman fan too. And like I got my 1995 Batman, cars and stuff still. And stuff like that, but yeah, it's gonna be different, and I'm hoping that maybe, I don't know, it's probably not gonna happen. He's faking his death for a reason.
I mean, granted, Batman has died a couple of times anyway, and then he came back from the dead anyway. So,
But I'm sure eventually there's going to be, if let's say if it's the way it is, the way it's shown, there's going to be another standalone Batman game or something. You'll see.
Probably. I mean, they'd be stupid not to make another one.
Yeah.
I like to play as Batman versus like playing as just a regular person, only because like I don't know, just even GameCube has some cool Batman games to where you're battling as Batman and you're just fighting through the fire. It's pretty cool. But I don't know, to each his own. I'd rather, like you said, I'd rather be Batman versus
be Batman, yeah.
Yeah, because if you're advertising this huge Batman game and then you open it up and you're like, oh, where's Batman? And then find out the storyline that Batman's not even there, and you're like, throw this in the trash. Garbage.
I mean, I don't know if I'm to the point where I'm like, oh, the new Batman game is like psh, trash. I'm not even gonna touch it. But it's like, I mean, I have no problem with Robin and Batgirl and all that stuff. I have no idea who Red Hood is. The last character. I have no freaking clue who that guy is.
Oh,
that was in the trailer. Yeah, Red Hood.
That's what it comes to mind. Yeah.
I have no friggin' idea who that is.
I wonder if he's in the newer comics.
I mean, if he is, that's probably why I have no idea. You know, let me see real quick. I've been doing a lot of search engine searches tonight, so
that's okay. Keep Googling.
Okay.
That's what you're here for.
Red Hood. Oh, that's what I'm here for. Okay, it's finally clear what I'm here for now.
I'm choking on my drink.
I heard that you're all.
Okay, let's see. This is basically just a generic answer in the Google search. It's from some frickin' Wikipedia site. In 2005, writer Judd Winnick began the Under the Hood storyline that revolved around the mystery of the identity of the new Red Hood. The character's identity was revealed as Jason Todd in Batman 638. Winnick explains that after his initial arc on the Batman title, he suggested doing something big to his editors. Let me see what the actual Wikipedia says about this guy. The Red Hood is an alias used by multiple fictional characters and a criminal organization in comic books published by DC Comics. Jason Todd is the most widely known character to assume the Red Hood identity in the main DC Comics continuity, while the Joker had also previously assumed the Red Hood identity.
What?
Okay, that didn't do anything.
Fail.
I'm sorry if people who are listening that actually know anything about this.
Well, you guys comment below if you know about the Red Hood. We don't, so let us know.
Anyone have any comments? Don't forget to put a like, por favor.
Okay, let's check Batman Wiki.
Red Hood reminds me of Arrow.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
The Red Hood is an alias assumed by several criminals in the Batman mythos, while rarely having a consistent modus operandi between incarnations. The figure is often leader of the Red Hood gang. Oh, Jesus Christ, this is the worst search.
It just keeps giving you
ever.
a circle of the same answer, huh?
It's like, who
cares? Cast of new Batman game. I don't know. Put something.
I mean, if I end up playing it, I will probably play as Robin or Batgirl or Nightwing, which is also Robin, so, you know.
Yeah, Robin's going to be dope.
The new movie actually looks not terrible. I mean, I don't like, what is it, Hayden Christensen as Batman, or whoever they hired as Batman.
Better than Ben Affleck.
Oh, much better than Ben Affleck. But Ben Affleck never had a chance to be a good Batman. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I mean, what was he in? The Justice League movie, which was awful, and Batman versus Superman, which was awful.
He only had the two movies. He didn't have a standalone movie to be in. So when I saw Ben Affleck, I remembered him from Dogma. I remember. You guys ever seen Dogma? Come on, man.
Part of Dogma. I've seen part of Dogma.
Yeah, and Clerks and all that. I remember him and Matt Damon from Dogma, and so he was more of a I know he's done serious roles, but he was more of a comedic actor to me. And so when I saw him in Batman, I was thinking in the back of my mind, this guy is not Batman. This guy is not Batman.
I mean, he didn't do a bad so job. It's just that the movies were so bad.
Which one was so bad? You said Justice
both
League
of them. Justice League and Batman versus Superman. Batman versus Superman is awful.
Which one did you see? Did you see the extended version at all?
I have not seen the extended version of the Justice League.
I liked it better once I saw the extended version. It was longer, and I kind of enjoyed it more. And the fight scenes got kind of more slightly gory a little bit.
So they add
blood
more
and things like that. It just got better for me.
The Justice League movie looked like a movie that was rushed, and that just.
But you know why? You know why that happened? From what I was, you probably know, right? The guy originally was producing the movie. Do you remember his name?
I don't remember his name.
Well, the guy who was producing the movie was gonna do it, but then he had a death in his family, so somebody else in his group or whatever took over and did the movie in his way. But now the guy who originally was supposed to do it is now doing the whole thing again on HBO. They're all the same actors. They're making it a lot more darker. Did you see the new Justice League trailer?
Yes.
Everyone's all the same. It just seems more dramatic, and they're gonna add more to it. I guess supposedly it's gonna be like a show kind of thing.
I think so. Yeah.
So they're that way. You can kind of forget the other one, and then just kind of check this one out.
It's not hard to forget the other one because the other one is like god awful.
I'll still watch it. I don't know why I still watch it. I'm just gonna, I don't know why I keep watching it. I guess I like a scene or two, but then I can't like the rest of it. So it's a bit, it was rushed.
There's a part in Justice League where it's like, why am I watching this? Near like the middle, when it's like, ugh, God, why am I watching this?
I'd rather watch the Joker. My wife and I just watched that like last month.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I was like, amazing movie. I really liked it. In my opinion, it was pretty cool. And you really you almost feel bad for the Joker.
A little bit.
Yeah, he's kind of crazy, but you almost feel bad for him.
I mean, are we sick of superhero movies now, or are we still okay with them?
Batman's coming out with a vengeance. I mean, with all this the new Flash movie coming out, they're gonna have two Batmans in it. I guess the new Flash will have the Batman of what's the one in Justice League who plays Ben Affleck, and they're also gonna have the original Batman from the 1980s movie. Michael Keaton is gonna be playing Batman again, so he's coming back as an older one, and so I'm like, wow, this is gonna be huge. So I'm hoping that works out. I guess some type of like when they go through time or some type of other world. I think Spider-Man did that.
I mean, do we need a Flash movie?
Well, that's why they're probably adding in these Batmans from different universes, things like that.
I think the show was cool, but I think that when they tried to put it on a movie, I don't think that the movie should have been, because the show was cool, but once it hit the theaters, it did not look interesting to me at all.
I mean, personally, I don't think we need a Flash movie. I don't think we need an Aquaman movie.
Aquaman was fine.
Aquaman was okay. It didn't do much for me. I mean,
the end of the movie I didn't like. Like, I hated that they turned Aquaman into like a fat slob. So I felt like it was crazy, right? He turned into an alcoholic, and I was like, what am I watching?
He wasn't fat.
I felt like Aquaman, they were trying to get away from the orange suit that Aquaman is kind of like loser the whole movie until the end when they put him in that orange suit. So it's like, what the hell is the friggin' point? And there was no point.
You just like Marvel better.
No, I don't. I like DC better.
Oh.
I love Batman.
So out of all your DC, what's your favorite of
my favorite movie or character?
Movie character, both.
Batman.
Batman and movie that you've seen.
Favorite DC movie. One of the probably The Dark Knight.
Yeah, that whole series was great. That whole thing.
I haven't seen the whole third one, but the first one is an amazing movie.
Yeah, they're all good. They're all great. All amazing movies. Can't go bad with that one. You gotta admit, you gotta at least miss something. I'll still play even the extended cut when they made it look a little bit more different. Not different, but like they added, I think, more to it. That fight scene at the end when Batman saving Superman's mom, that shit was dope as heck. out of the whole movie, I'll just fast forward to it. I'm done. I'm good. You know, if I don't feel like watching the whole thing, wasn't that cool though? I mean, I enjoyed that. That was really like, oh shit.
If you can stick through the whole movie, that's a decent scene in the movie.
So yeah, I mean, if you have time, I mean, if you ever have a day where you're not doing nothing, try the extended or the director's cut. Anything.
But I don't recommend either of those movies. But you can give them a shot all you want. I don't recommend them.
We're going on to movie topics. What's the next movie?
Hey, well, what's coming out? Anything coming out?
Bill and Ted 3.
I mean,
I want to watch that right here.
This guy, you know he does.
It's not that I don't. It's not that I don't want to. It's just that it's another movie that I think if they were more willing to take chances in Hollywood, it would never have happened.
There was some scenes from the original that had Rufus in it that they're able to dub into this movie. So I was happy because I thought it was going to be in there. My wife saw the trailer and she's read the reviews on it, and they were actually had old footage or actually able to dub in there because I was like, well, how are they going to put Rufus in the movie? You know, with George Carlin, rip.
Well, I mean, a lot of movies have done that, like Star Wars put Princess Leia in when she's been dead. Tron, well, he wasn't dead, but they just made him look older or younger. Excuse me, whoever that was, I don't even remember. But
Guardians of the Galaxy, remember?
Oh, that's right, Guardians of the Galaxy too. That's a good movie, also.
Yeah, I love both of them, and I can't wait for 3.
The second one's not as good as the first one. I don't care for the second.
The first one is dope. We gotta have a dance party later.
The first one is fantastic.
I just like the songs that they picked. Like the soundtrack was just very awesome, and it flowed, you know. And it wasn't your traditional Marvel movie, and that was the thing, is like it had killer music. The jokes were just out of this world, and just the fight scenes were cool. And it wasn't a traditional movie, so that was the thing, is it took it out of the seriousness of all the fighting, the drama. There was some drama and stuff, but I mean, it kind of took it out of that, you know. So it was pretty cool.
Out of all the characters out of the whole Marvel universe, when the movies are all coming out, the Guardians of the Galaxy did become my favorite of all of them.
It's a good movie. I mean, it was to a point where we were waiting for not a traditional superhero movie, I feel like, and that was the movie where it took the left turn in every aspect of the superhero genre.
It was funny though, because when I first saw the Guardians of the Galaxy and it said Vin Diesel as Groot, I was like, what?
Yeah.
And he gets paid all this money because he's a big name actor for his whole line, I am Groot. And I'm like,
one line in the movie. It's like, oh, thanks. You know?
He makes all these royalties, and I was like, wow, this guy's smart right there.
Yeah, I saw that. I looked it up, and I saw some parts making of it and how he does it. I was like, man, it's crazy. But yeah.
Interesting, though. Smart, though. He doesn't have to work very much. He could just say he was in the movie.
Yeah, most of his movies are crap anyways. Like the last Fast and the Furious coming out. I was like, no. He needs to stop making those movies.
I think one and 2 were good, but what is it, like 15 now or something?
Yeah, like 75, 90, whatever, however Fast and the Furious movies there are.
Whatever we are. So a lot of my students last year were asking me, they said, Mr. Woods, did you see the Fast and Furious? Like I said, I stopped at number 3. They're like, oh, you know, that's considered an old movie. And I was like, well, I am an old guy. That's okay.
It's like, yeah, we know it's an old movie because it's an old movie.
They need to come up with the DC movie that meshes with Marvel, like the comics did. If they could collaborate and do something like super good, maybe like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Hey, have you guys watching the game that's coming out on the PS4 or 5? The new Marvel game.
Oh, what, the Avengers?
The Avengers. If you want to, it's like, if you see anyone see any gameplay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does not look that good.
Yeah, it does not. You don't like it?
No, I don't think so. I don't care for it.
Oh,
I know a couple people who have reviewed it, and they say it hasn't done that well either.
Oh, I don't know. I keep liking it. Wow.
Now, I'm not going to deter you from getting it. You can like whatever
I'm
you
not
want,
getting no more. I'm not getting
Okay.
it no more.
All right, you can pay me for my services. You know, shitty game, don't play it.
I want to get the Intellivision Amico only because it's coming out with the original, like it's coming out with Earthworm Jim, and you can't get that Earthworm Jim game, the new one, unless you get the Amico.
Do we think that's ridiculous
How much
or
is
not?
it?
I actually do, because like you can't just hoard a game, and if you're inventing a system and you're only going to have it for that game, the company that invented Earthworm Jim should share the wealth with, like, it's completely compatible with the Switch. If it's compatible with that little Amico, it is compatible with the Switch and the PS4. I'm curious to see what it's about, though. I've been watching
Yeah,
it
that's
for
something.
like, yeah.
They haven't mentioned that at all, have they?
No, I watched Tommy Tellerico did a YouTube video, and he was saying that he wanted to release it on the day, I think his sister, they had a day like it was April.
I think so,
something.
yeah, something like
It was
that.
his his sister passed away on that day, so they want to commemorate her by doing it. But with the coronavirus that hit, it kind of put things out. So I think they're going to release it next year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do remember him saying something like that they had to hold off on it originally because they weren't sure if they were going to get the original guy, the music guy back or something, because he's involved in some stupid stuff online or something, or like dehumanizing women or something to that effect, that they didn't want him back, and then he had to reassure everyone that this guy wasn't going to be back and that it was going to be on this thing only. So, you know, it's just typical, you know, yelling back and forth when a new system comes out.
I'm curious though, because like they haven't made anything like, and television hasn't made anything like years. Like, and then all of a sudden here comes Tommy Tellerico. He's like, I'm back, and I got the system. Actually looks pretty flashy. It's not like when the Atari VCS said that it was going to come out and has all these millions of dollars of people backing it, and you still don't have a system.
That so disappoints me that hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, and I don't see how people aren't suing, because so many people have put thousands of dollars into this project, and they do little stealth drops of, oh, we're going to do this. And it's never like, okay, well, what did you just show us? You showed us a fancier version of what you had just showed us earlier. And
Well, the question is, on this Kickstarter or whatever they did to raise the money, does it actually say there's a date on it? If it doesn't, then they could just be like, oh, hey, buyer beware. You know, we never said when it was going to come out. We said prospective release date of 2021 or whatever. But, you know, Kickstarters they're fickle. I mean, buyer beware. It's like, that's why I've never donated money to any Kickstarter, because I don't know what I'm going to get, if I'm going to get any money out of that. I don't want to buy stuff when I know what I'm getting half the time, like at a store or something. And now I'm trying to be told like, oh yeah, $100 donation to whatever gets you a name in the game and a deck of cards with the character's picture on it. It's like, but it's,
and the fact that like you're paying that $100, and like, you know, so to speak, you were saying the name in the game, and then you have to pay for the system when it comes out.
yeah.
And a lot of times they're like, well, if you donate X amount of dollars, you'll get the system when it comes out. So that it's like a hook. You keep going back. And when the Atari VCS came out, I was like, oh, okay, this sounds cool. Like I just saw the wood grain look. I was like, oh, it's gonna be interesting. Then I saw the innards of it was gonna be like pretty much like RetroArch was gonna be in it. And then that kind of like shook me a little bit, because I was like, okay, RetroArch is free, and they advertise free software, which was not their own, and they're using it with their hardware, which is third-party people do that, but this is a name that everybody knows and trusts, which was Atari. So that was a problem, and I was like, okay, I started like, you know, you get that gut feeling, and you just know this doesn't add up, you know, and then the controller looked cool, and then so I followed it for a whole year. I haven't donated it to anything to it. So then I was like, and then I thought, well, this is cool. And then I was showing my wife, and she goes, baby, you really think this thing's really going to happen? I was like, yeah, probably not.
I mean, I think it's going to happen. It's just God only knows when. I mean, I have a T-shirt from E3 that Atari gave me with the Atari VCS logo on it and stuff from 2018. Now we're in 2020, and there's still no system. I mean, the coolest thing is probably that it had the HDMI hookups to play in television games. But
Yeah, that thing was cool. And I saw that they advertised for games that they didn't have rights for. So that was the second thing on their YouTube. So that's what people were like, wait a second, you can't even have that on your system. How are you going to be able to advertise for it? And so they went on to explain that other people know how to mod systems. And they're like, wait, you're advertising that your system can be modded. And so like that whole thing caused a big old ruckus in the gaming community, which any system, honestly, any system can be modded. Let's put that on the table.
sure,
Like,
but
like
the company before they even bring it out should not be saying, "Oh, you can mod this."
yeah, and that's what thing I was like, well, we'll see. Like now with the Intellivision and Miko, I really feel like Tommy Tallarico is really like putting his best efforts into it and making sure that everybody's going into it. But the only thing is, I want that Earthworm Jim game. I don't know why. I've been a fan of it since the beginning. So
Oh, you're gonna get it. We know you're gonna buy it, and you're gonna get it.
I'm gonna have to if I want that game. We were just talking about that. Another thing that I would buy for that game because I just.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
How much is the system? How much do you have to pay to get the whole thing?
How much is that, Retro?
He said that he didn't want to put a price, but he might start it off. He said he wants to ballpark it at $199.
Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
200 is not bad for that. I don't see it being $200 though.
No, I feel like if he put it at 100 and started there, that would be good, a good price. Because
I was
gonna say because in television, they don't have a big name right now, but he's trying to actually build his reputation because he doesn't have one right now. He's not good, he's not bad, but he's actually putting something like Atari. They're ruining their reputation by the VCS. He's actually telling people, here's your update. He's not even asking for donations. He's just saying, there's an update. This is what's going to come. Here we are.
Well, Tommy Tallarico still has a reputation. He was doing video game music shows all over the country and the world prior to any of this even coming out. So his name still means something. It's just doesn't mean something as it used to. Because if it was like the 2000s, and you said, "Oh, Tommy Tallarico's making a game, making a system," like everybody would buy it already.
True, I forgot about that. I remember people talking about that. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, it was like Video Games Live, I think, was the name of the series that they had for music and stuff. I think that's what it was called. But if he comes out if the system is 150, I think that would be fine. Do I think it's going to be 150? No, because they're going to try and recoup their money.
All right, you guys, it is 7 o'clock. Our time is up. You guys got any closing thoughts on tonight's broadcast?
No, I think we're good.
Everything worked. Everything was good today. Looks like our podcast has been going on for like an hour and a half. That's cool. I like it. Sometimes getting an hour may not always be enough. So getting that extra half hour, extra 20 minutes it's good. It fills in some of the blanks there. And yeah, great podcast. It was good. We got some people for next month. We'll figure out what we're gonna do with topics. Well, again, we didn't really have much topics. It just came out. I like this. We're just free. Things build as we speak and we talk. And another great podcast. 19, 20 we'll be turning 20 next week. So I'm thinking of maybe on a shirt giveaway or something like that. Well, we'll figure it out. Something for like the big 20 or 25 or something like that. But yeah. So far, what I want to do is transform this Mr. Switch Nintendo Power Life ish into more of a podcast channel. So I might be changing certain names, things like that. So a lot of it's turning into just where I want to be at now. So and I like what we're doing here. And again, I've been talking to people. If you guys got other people you guys want to bring in, just to jump into conversation. We got our main guys always, and sometimes with our busy lives and sometimes not everyone can show up. We can always bring in someone that want to try to jump in new for a podcast or two. It's been crazy, even with for all you guys being be safe out there in the crazy world that we live in. And I'm in that town where we had the Jacob Blake shooting, the same time that they shot him like 7 times in the back. So it's like all this like protesting every night and people getting killed. And like a few hours ago, there was a shooting at the local store. It's like, man, it's just happening more with this town and how more dangerous it's getting. Like again, they're saying that people are still plotting more things, and so it's a lot of chaos. But with that, let's, I don't want it to ruin my. I want to keep Gamers Realm going, and I'm just gonna be safe. Whatever's going on in your town, be safe. Those who are watching, be safe as well. And just again, yeah. So other than that, thank you guys for podcast, Chucky and Retro. And as always, it's always a pleasure. So, Retro, you want to finish up?
Yep. Make sure you guys wear your masks when you're in public. I just want to put that out there, even if it is a cool Nintendo one. Just putting that out there, like my Nintendo. But just want to say thank you guys so much for joining, all the viewers that are on tonight. I want to thank you guys so much. We had a good podcast. Talked about movies, talked about video games, and it was awesome. All right, you guys. You guys stay safe, be awesome, and we will see you guys on the next round. See you guys.
Later, guys. Take care.
Laters.